Trigger warning. Bad takes on The Shining. This will ruin your day.
Hey everybody. So, a while back, film Twitter was assaulted by the following clip.
In the movie, you'll notice that while we see Shelley, then the blood, then Shelley, we never see both in the same shot, which actually creates a problem for the audience, because we don't know if this is real or if she hallucinated it, which is why I think this shot could be improved if it was CG, because you could have Shelley run right up to the elevator, the doors open, you switch to a digital double, and we see her get washed away, just like in Ready Player One.
The casual, insipid arrogance. YouTube must be destroyed. Some people just need to not watch movies. It's clearly too hard for them. There was much weeping and gnashing of teeth is what I'm saying, which, is what Twitter is for. Now, make no mistake, this clip is dog shit, like a big part of what makes The Shining so good is its tension between reality and imagination. Is it a tactile, physical threat or a soggier corruption of the mind? The two possibilities are blurred together and, just from start to finish, we feel both to be equally true. Even if the hallway of blood is only in Wendy's mind, it doesn't really make it feel any less dangerous. It certainly doesn't make Jack Nicholson's character any less dangerous. To be trapped in an abusive relationship is to exist in deference to the whims and fantasies of your abuser. Their reality always takes priority, regardless of how real that reality is. The Shining has always been a magnet for bad takes, like when films get surreal, there's usually a clear feeling of falling down the rabbit hole into Wonderland. A moment when I'm asked to let go of the literal, and that moment is generally pretty clear, right? But The Shining never really gives you that clear indicator that, oh, here we go into the subconsciousness. It tantalizes and teases, which is catnip for a certain kind of moviegoer who has to make it make sense. There's a whole feature-length documentary filled with people blathering their conspiracy theories about how The Shining is making statements about the Holocaust, or it has something to do with the faked moon landing or whatever. Eyebrow Cinema, a great YouTube channel, they recently made a video about this terrible theory that Wendy was the villain all along and all of Jack's abuses are actually just all in her head. Whether people try to fix The Shining thematically or logically, there's just this itch to find a box to stuff it in so that they don't have to feel confused anymore. And I don't know, that stuff gets on my nerves too. I've definitely complained about it in my Annihilation video. I do try to remind myself every once in a while that when we praise a work of art for being challenging, what we are saying is that the work is demanding more of us than most art does. And I have friends and family who, for some baffling reason, haven't chosen to make movies the center of their entire identity. And when we watch stuff that is a bit surreal or strange or challenging, their first instincts are usually to engage with the movie in the same way that almost every other movie asks them to. A lot of my IRL friends say in my videos, I could never see the things that you see in movies. And, well, I think they're selling themselves a little short. It is true that a lot of my ability to articulate my thoughts on art come from a lifelong education. I've made art, studied art in school, and enjoyed a much larger variety of art forms than most people are exposed to. I don't know, this clip just brings up interesting questions to me about like how much is taste, good taste, quote unquote, a product of education and I don't know, maybe even privilege to some extent. Like, isn't there a kind of elitism to some of these tweets? Who is this man to criticize Stanley Kubrick? How dare he suggest that The Shining, which is high art, might have anything to learn from Ready Player One, the lowest of the low art. The Shining should have been more like Ready Player One. It's like hearing someone say, yes, I would like ketchup in my curry, for sheer breadth of defilement to the art form. Shining slander and Ready Player One praise in the same clip. Stop. Just like in Ready Player One? Who cares? Hey, you know what? The image of the internet man getting swept away by the hallway of blood is actually sort of fun. It's truly the only image of that entire garbage movie that I remember anything about. It's the only time it feels like Spielberg's having any kind of fun. So, you know, okay, if you're inspired by that, that's cool. Actually, you know what? In fact, somebody nearly drowned in a big deluge of blood just this last year in Evil Dead Rise, and people seemed to like that movie. I don't know. I mean, the man has a dumb opinion. I'm not going to argue that, but is it bad enough that it's defiling the art form? I just feel like The Shining, for a lot of people, is the strangest and most challenging art that they have ever actually enjoyed, as far as movies go anyway. And when I see all these bad takes, I mostly just see people trying to engage with a piece of art that they love on a deeper level than they ever have attempted before. And so naturally, they're asking the wrong questions. You know, like not everybody is Doug Walker. I guess the difference between this clip and like my dad is that my dad isn't positioning himself as an authority on YouTube. And sorry, I don't have enough hands for this. I am reading a script. This is all a lie, or is it a lie if I write it? There's the first page. Yeah, the difference with my dad is that, you know, he's not positioning himself as an authority on YouTube. And this guy isn't just coming up with a theory, he's trying his hand at like criticism. He's responding to his own confusion by trying to stamp it out. I don't let myself spend more than a day on these second channel videos, so I couldn't figure out like who this guy was or what his deal is. There was a comment from some guy who was saying that this original clip is from like a CGI artist, and the video is mostly just about like coming at it from that angle, looking at just different technical type stuff. Maybe I'm just being a little protective of this random internet person, because writing is a way of discovering your own thoughts, and you can't think better about things that you haven't thought much about before until you think badly first. Does that make sense, you know? And in our internet age, a lot of those first incubatory steps are posted online for all to see and judge, especially if, oops, it goes more viral than you ever may have intended it to go. You know, like nobody gave me a diploma giving me permission to start my channel. And you better believe there's a lot of videos that I've deleted, and even some older videos, oh my God, on this like older channel that we all forgot the password to. It's such a nightmare. I just pray to God that nobody ever finds it, because there's just some horrible cringe on there, man. One of the first video essays I ever made could be seen as me talking about art the wrong way. It was a Star Wars video that's pretty much just exclusively some fan theory about force powers and shit that, you know, has nothing to do with like any deeper meanings or creative craft or any of the more respectable ways to analyze art. And I don't know, I've always found it kind of interesting that
My What Really Killed Vader video was the first video of mine to break 1,000 views. But after the channel took off and I built an audience of experienced video essay watchers, it has since become my lowest performing essay. So, I don't know, I gotta get out of this tub, and I'm not wearing pants, so the phone's going off.
Whoa, just kidding, there's been a new development. As I was pulling some screenshots off of YouTube for this video, I saw a thumbnail and thought, oh, yeah, that has to be the guy for sure. The clip is from a channel called Blender Guru. He does tutorials on the open source software Blender, as that one commenter indicated. I can't speak to the rest of his 263 videos, but this is such an entertaining and well-presented video about the advantages and limitations of CGI. This tiny excerpt is just such a minor speed bump compared to so much great informative stuff. I would recommend this video to anybody. And if this guy's later clarification is to be believed, that clip is actually just kind of a poorly executed joke left over from an earlier cut to the video. He even explicitly says at some other point in his video that the Shining hallway looks better than the Ready Player One recreation. So let this video stand as a hopefully interesting rumination on just discourse in general around The Shining, but also as a testament to a really dumb and pointless day on film Twitter, which I guess is just a normal day anywhere on Twitter. I was thinking the other day about how in Philip K. Dick's novel Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, it's common practice for people to like plug into these gizmos that basically sedates you with happy feelings. That's the future that guys like him envisioned and feared. But what actually happened is that we plug into gizmos that make us angry and sad. We are all Jack Nicholson, kneeling before our algorithmic ghost bartenders, holding out our thirsty hands for another round.